Friends, welcome again to this session. In today's lecture, we will discuss the taxonomy and diversity of the family Caryophyllaceae. The family Caryophyllaceae is commonly known as the pink family. This family derives its name from the word carnation, meaning clove-leaved, which is the showiest member of the family. The family includes some of the most important ornamental plants and cut flowers, particularly the species of dianthus, which include the carnation, pink, sweet william, etc. The family Caryophyllaceae has certain distinguishing characters, that is, those characters that are almost always present, and these include stem with swollen nodes, leaves always opposite, cincinous inflorescence, corolla caryophyllaceous and petals free, flowers actinomorphic, bisexual and hypogynous, stamens 10 or lesser and obdiplostemonous, ovary unilocular with free central placentation, and fruit a capsule opening by teeth or valves. The common genera of this family are dianthus, which is cultivated as ornamental, saponaria, plants with abundant soapy juice, sitillaria, which is a herbaceous weed, spergula, a common weed in or near the wheat and barley fields, and lichnus with unisexual flowers and is found usually in hills. We will first discuss the taxonomy of the family Caryophyllaceae, and we will start with the habitat, that is, the area or environment where an organism normally lives. Plants in Caryophyllaceae are halophytic to xerophytic. Habit or the characteristic appearance, form or manner of growth in Caryophyllaceae shows that the plants are mostly annual or biennial herbs or rarely small trees. They can even be shrubs, subshrubs or vines with anthocyanin pigments. They may be succulent or non-succulent. In Caryophyllaceae, the root is usually branched taproot, that is, the root that develops directly from the radicle. But sometimes the plants also bear rhizomes. Stem is erect or slightly decumbent, usually with swollen nodes, and may be glabrous or pubescent. The branching in stem is usually dichotomous but sometimes monopodial. In Caryophyllaceae, leaves are usually opposite and decussate, or they are rarely alternate, as we can see in Corygaola. They are sessile, simple, entire and linear to lanceolate in shape, often connected at the base by a transverse line. Leaves are usually exstipulate, and if sometimes stipulate, then the stipules are scarious. Leaf base is usually connate or perfoliate and sheathing. In Arctic forms of Caryophyllaceae, the leaves are usually highly reduced. Inflorescence in Caryophyllaceae is basically in terminal dichasial cymes, then transforming into monochasial cymes of cincinous type. Sometimes solitary terminal inflorescence is also present, as we can see in Arenaria and Agrostema. In Caryophyllaceae, the flower is bracteate, bracteolate, pedicellate or sessile, actinomorphic and usually pentamerous. But the flower is sometimes tetramerous also, as we can see in Phylogeny. They are mostly bisexual or rarely unisexual, as we can see in Lychnis. Flowers are mostly hypogynous or very rarely they are perigynous, as we can find in Arneria. Epicalyx, which is a whorl of small bracts at the base of certain flowers resembling an extra outer calyx, is occasionally present in Caryophyllaceous members, as we can see in Dianthus. Floral receptacle often developing into a gynophore, which is a prolongation of the receptacle with the gynoecium at its apex. The hypogynous disc is also present. In Caryophyllaceae, the perianth is usually biseriate, that is, arranged in two whorls with a distinct calyx and corolla. Very rarely the corolla is wanting. In Caryophyllaceae, the calyx comprises 5 sepals. Rarely the sepals are only 4, as we can find in Phylogeny. They are usually connate proximally into a tube or cup and are the synsepalous, as we can find in Silene and Dianthus. Or sometimes the sepals are distinct or aposepalous, as we can see in Cetalaria. The sepals are herbaceous or scarious, regular and usually persistent in the fruit with imbricate aestivation. So far as the corolla is concerned, in Caryophyllaceae, this corolla comprises 5 or 4 petals. It's rarely wanting, as in Phylogeny apetala. The corolla is distinct or apopetalous, often unguiculate, that is, differentiated into a distinct claw and limb with an appendaged joint between the two. It's often notched, as we can find in Serratium, or bifid, as we can see in Cetalaria, and can even be fringed or entire. This corolla is usually caryophyllaceous, showy and regular with imbricate or twisted aestivation. At the junction of the limb and claw, or at the corolla throat, there is an outgrowth or a ligule which constitutes the so-called corona. The corona is absent in Agrostema and Gypsophila, but is present in Dianthus, Lychnis and Silene. Androecium consists typically of 5 or 10 stamens, which are uniseriate or biseriate and obdiplostemonous. That is, the outer whorl of stamens are opposite the petals and the inner whorl opposite the sepals. Or they are epipetalous or sometimes episepalous. The filaments are either free, that is apostemonous, or are basally connate. The anthers in Caryophyllaceae are dithecous, introrse and longitudinal in dehiscence. Staminodes, or the sterile stamens which sometimes resemble the petals, are usually absent in Caryophyllaceae, but sometimes present in some genera like Arneria and Cetalaria. Floral development studies, however, indicate that the obdiplostemony is not true in this family, but is primarily created by the mechanical pushing out of the inner whorl of stamens. Gynoecium in Caryophyllaceae comprises usually 2 carpels, as we can see in Dianthus and Saponaria, or they are 3 in number, as in Silene, or 5 as in likeness. Very rarely the carpels are less in number. The carpels are usually united or syncarpous. The ovary is usually superior but is also slightly inferior as in Arenaria. It's unilocular or imperfectly 3 to 5 celled. Ovules are usually numerous but a single basal ovule is present in Paronecia. Styles are free and as many as the carpels or are connate. Placentation is usually free central, at least below, or it's basal. The free central placentation is derived from exile placentation due to the breaking down of the septa. The exile placentation is persistent in Polycarpon. Ovules are campylotropous, hemianatropous to amphitropous and are usually bitegmic. The fruit in Caryophyllaceae is usually a dry capsule opening by teeth, that is with denticidal dehiscence. Or the fruit is rarely a berry with irregular dehiscence, as we can see in Cucurbellus, or it can even be an achene. Seeds are endospermic or non-endospermic, but perisperm is often present. The cotyledons are 2 in number. Embryo is achlorophyllous and usually curved, but sometimes coiled or straight. The seed coat is often sculptured. When we talk about the pollination in Caryophyllaceae, it's usually found to be entomophilous. Insects are attracted by the nectar and the color of the flowers. Seed dispersal in Caryophyllaceae occurs mainly by wind and the animals. After discussing the taxonomy, we now come to the systematic position of family Caryophyllaceae. Different taxonomists have classified the family differently, but some of the prominent ones are: number 1, Bentham and Hooker, the two British botanists, placed the family Caryophyllaceae in class Dicotyledons, subclass Polypetalae, series Thalamiflorae and order Caryophyllene. Arthur Cronquist, an American taxonomist, placed the family Caryophyllaceae in the division Magnoliophyta, class Magnoliopsida, subclass Caryophyllaceae and order Caryophyllales. Armin Takhtajan, a Russian taxonomist, placed the family in the division Magnoliophyta, class Magnoliopsida, subclass Caryophyllaceae, superorder Caryophyllene and order Caryophyllales. Rolf Dahlgren, a Danish botanist, placed the family in the class Magnoliopsida, subclass Magnoliidae, superorder Caryophyllene and order Caparales. Robert Thorne, an American taxonomist, placed the family in the class Angiospermae, subclass Caryophyllaceae, superorder Caryophyllene and order Caryophyllales. Angiosperm phylogeny group, a large collaborative group of taxonomists led by Peter Stevens, placed the family in APG second of core eudicots and order Caryophyllales. We now come to the phylogeny of Caryophyllaceae. There are two views regarding the origin of Caryophyllaceae. According to the first view, as proposed by Eichler, the family Caryophyllaceae is believed to have originated from Phytolaccaceae, particularly the genus Stagnosperma. This genus has two whorls of stamens, the outer whorl being modified into petals. This view is supported by Pax, Wettstein and Rendell. The second view, proposed by Vernham, however, believes the origin of family Caryophyllaceae from a Rennallian ancestor. This view finds support from Bessie, Hutchinson and Cronquist. The family in turn is thought to have given rise to Amaranthaceae or Chenopodiaceae. Dickson suggested the origin of Caryophyllaceae from geraniales. His hypothesis was primarily based on the floral anatomical studies. We will now talk a little bit about the division of the family Caryophyllaceae. Pax divided the family Caryophyllaceae into two subfamilies. Number one is the Alcinoideae. The main characteristics of this subfamily are sepals free, petals usually short, flowers often perigynous and ligule absent. Examples of this subfamily include Spergula and Citalaria. This subfamily includes 6 tribes, which are Alcinae, Spergulae, Polycarpae, Paroniaceae, Scleranthae and Pteranthae. Second subfamily is the Silenoideae. The main characteristics of this subfamily are sepals fused, petals usually long clawed, flowers hypogynous and ligule often present. The examples are Dianthus and Lychnis. The subfamily includes 2 tribes, which are Lychnidae and Dianthae. Teuton et al. Divided the family into 3 subfamilies. One, Alcinoideae, in which the stipules are absent and petals are free. Second, Silenoideae, in which the stipules are again absent but petals are united. And third, the Paroniaceae, where the stipules are present and petals are free or united. Many taxonomists, however, consider the last subfamily, which is the Paroniaceae, as a basal grade of the primitive members of this family, which have retained many plesiomorphic traits. Now we will talk about the diversity of the family Caryophyllaceae. Caryophyllaceae is a moderately large family comprising 89 genera and 3000 species, found mostly throughout the North Temperate Zone, especially in northern Mediterranean countries, although its members are also well represented in the Northwest. The Mediterranean region is considered as the center of distribution of the family Caryophyllaceae. Genera such as Silene, Lychnis, Arenaria and Sagina are found in the cold Arctic region, while as the genera such as Colobanthus and Laelia are distributed in colder regions of the southern hemisphere, that is the Antarctica. Some of the larger genera include Silene or catchfly with about 700 species, Dianthus or common carnation with 300 species, Arenaria or sandwort with 200 species, Gypsophila or baby's breath with 150 species, Stellaria or chickweed again with 150 species, and Cerastium or mouse ear chickweed with about 100 species. In India, the family is represented by over 20 genera and 100 species. We now come to the economic importance of the family Caryophyllaceae. The family is not of great economic importance. However, some of the economic uses of family are: number 1, the medicinal value. Several species of Caryophyllaceae are medicinally important, and some of these include Dianthus caryophyllus, which is used as cardiac and nerve tonic and also as an antiseptic. Dianthus anatolicus is used in intermittent fever. Dianthus sinensis is useful as diuretic and is also used against gonorrhea. Lichnis coronaria is useful in the treatment of liver and lung disease. Silene apetala is considered as a useful remedy in eye troubles. Supergula arvensis seeds are used in the treatment of lung tuberculosis. Stellaria media leaves are used against inflammations of digestive and respiratory tracts and also for the treatment of malaria. The family Caryophyllaceae also presents many ornamental plants. Some of these are Dianthus caryophyllus, the common carnation, which is mostly preferred for cut flowers. Dianthus barbatus or sweet William, which is ideal for border decorations and cuttings. Dianthus plumaris or pink is best suited for rock gardens and edges, but is also used as cut flower. Dianthus sinensis or the rainbow pink is ideal for borders and floral arrangements. Gypsophila paniculata or baby's breath is a good choice for cut flowers and is also effective for a perennial border. Silene pendula or catchfly is grown for mixed or annual borders and rock gardens. This species is also grown for cut flowers. Lichnis coronaria or campion is a choice plant for wild gardens or along the herbaceous borders. Saponaria osimoides or the common soapwort is most effective in a rock garden, trough or raised bed and useful for a mixed or herbaceous border. Serratium tomentosum or the mouse ear chickweed is suitable for border fronts or rock gardens. Many species of this Caryophyllaceae family provide us with the fodder. Pergula arvensis and many other species of this family are used as fodder for cattle. Some species also find their use in the industry as well. The flowers of Dianthus caryophyllus are used to obtain perfume. Also, the roots of many species of Saponaria, Gypsophila, etc. contain saponin and are used for washing wood and silk. Lastly, the family also includes many troublesome weeds such as Stellaria media, Cerastium arvens, Silene conoidea, Saponaria vacaria, etc. With this, we come to the end of today's lecture, in which we thoroughly discussed the taxonomy and diversity of the family Caryophyllaceae. We hope after watching this lecture, you will be able to correctly identify and distinguish the members belonging to the family Caryophyllaceae. Thank you.